Hey, g'day, Paul from Vocal Pro here. Today it's all about lip rolls. Now you may have seen them on the net. Hundreds and hundreds of people have videos on how to do them. But I'm going to show you the reasons why the lip roll actually works, and I'm going to show you how to do it that, in my opinion, is far superior to some of the things that you may see out there. And also I'm going to show you a couple of reasons why they are a little bit of a half step, and you may have problems with them as well, getting what you've learnt in the lip roll into your full singing voice. So we're going to break that down as well. By the end of this video, you're going to know more about lip rolls than you ever knew. Stick around. So lip rolls fall under a category of exercises called semi-occluded. And an occlusion just means a closure, right? So semi-occluded means we're partially closed, we're partially closing the front of our mouth. So anytime you've got like a or a or a or a where I'm passing through the nose, any of those kind of exercises fall under the category of a semi-occluded exercise. And the lip roll is clearly partially closed at the front. Okay, so a lip roll looks like this. And many people have seen these before. You've probably seen them yourself, and you may even be doing them. But you'll also see a lot of people doing them like this. And the reason why I don't think that works is because we don't understand what the intention of the lip roll is. So let's break down a few things about the lip roll as to why they work and why they are so good as a warm-up. Firstly, the first thing we want to do is we want to always use our fingers when we do the lip roll. Now, if we do this, check this out. If I go, look what I've just done with my jaw and my lips. I've actually had to tense them to be able to make the raspberry sound. So if I go, I've actually induced tension into the face. And one of the things we want to do is release tension from the face. So if I do this, my whole face can now relax. And what that means is when I'm doing that, if I let my fingers go, my whole face falls apart. My whole face just falls apart. So we want to be able to develop a singing experience where we're not relying on pulling on muscles of our face. It's more of a vocal experience more than a facial experience, yeah? Lip rolls are also really good because they allow us to control the airflow in a very controlled and safe way, especially for beginners. So if you're doing the lip roll and it sounds like this, and you've got a lot of air passing through, then clearly there's way too much air coming through. You could never sing on that. And it's one of the fundamental mistakes, actually, that vocalists, aspiring vocalists make. They always use too much air. Nearly everybody uses too much air until we learn. So when you're doing the lip roll, the idea of it is to get it really clean sounding. So it sounds like this. So it's more of a clean rather than a. Now the way you get through that is to just imagine across here it's very still. Don't let much air come out. It's kind of like if you were to go like that, make that sound. I'm not suggesting that's the sound you use when you do lip roll, of course not. But what I'm saying is the feeling you have in your body when you're going is very still. You can try that. And what you do is you put that feeling into the lip roll. So you get more of a. Just like that. The next thing that the lip roll does is it automatically raises the roof of the mouth and blocks the nose. You see, when we're making any sound like a they're called fricatives, or sounds like that. The roof of the mouth is always lifting up to block the nose, and that's what we want when we sing too. So if I sing with a little bit of sound passing through the nose, it sounds like that. If I raise the roof of the mouth and block it, so when we're doing the lip roll, it automatically raises the roof of the mouth because the mind is thinking that we're making like an S sound. See, nothing's passing through. And if you can try that too. If you try to make an S sound and pass air through the nose at the same time, it'll feel like you're trying to blow your nose. So that proves that the roof of the mouth is lifting to block the back of the nose, which is what you want when you sing. The next thing that the lip roll does is it really helps us in release tension when we go up into high notes. So if the lip roll tends to stop when you go up and do that, it's a really great way of being able to retrain yourself so that as you ascend, you just stay relaxed, like. So I'm not feeling like I've got to push to get into that high note. And so if the lip is stopping, like if the flapping is stopping, then you've got to obviously release some tension. And the final reason why I like the lip roll is because it encourages thyroid tilting. So what that does is it allows us to eliminate the break. So as we're going up, if you find that the lip roll is doing this, if it's doing something like that, a couple of things. Firstly, release abdominal tension. So you don't want too much tension there. If you grip the belly, it'll have a tendency to do that to you. Also, if you push too much air, it may break as well. But if you actually release the abdominal tension, hold back on the air, and you add a slight little, it's like your customer service voice. You know that voice there? You add that into it, and that becomes, and straight away you can access the high notes and eliminate the break at the same time. Okay, so a couple of things to watch out for at first. In the first instance, always release tension and keep them small. So that doesn't mean breathy though. Small just means this, and not this. Okay, so you keep them small at first, and you gradually start sirening up and down. Just like that, you work it up, work it back down, work it up, work it back down. Checking in for too much air, too much abdominal tension, too much pushing. Now for some people, you may be discovering this as well. As you're ascending, you may find that your body language wants to do this. In fact, sometimes people's eyebrows even lift. You get this whole sense of like, it goes like that. So if you want to get through that, just have a slight sense of falling. Now, something that I say all the time is good coaching has two aspects to it. So there's physiology and anatomy, which is actually what happens in the voice. And then there's visualization. You see, because in the voice we can't see it, we can't feel it because there's not many nerve endings in there. And we've been using our voice the same way our entire lives. So what that means is we have to use some visualizations to create a shift in our anatomy and physiology. So a visualization you can try is to have a sense of falling as you go up. That sort of thing. And the final thing that I'll just mention to you too is there's this pervasive thing out there. I've only started seeing it recently in the last couple of years where it's like scales are dead. Scales are so not dead. There's not one other instrument where you would not be encouraged to do scales, especially for an instrument like the voice, which is infinitely variable. It's not fretted, right? So you imagine like on a violin where there's no frets, you've got to get, I don't know how to play the violin, I don't know whether that's the hand movement, but anyway, you've got to get the fingers in exactly the right spot, or a trombone, it's got to be exactly perfect for you to be in tune. So you've got to imagine, you've got all these little muscles in there, moving the vocal folds around from your lowest to your highest note. We're working on things that's about as long as your thumbnail, if that. And so, and that can move over like 4 octaves, yeah, for some people. So what you've got to be able to do is train the muscles that they can bounce from one note to another perfectly in tune. And the easiest way to do that is to do that on a bunch of scales. So don't poo-poo scales. Plus, you'll find a lot of things on scales too. I'll do another video with that and why I think they're very much not dead. Now, here's the reason why I don't like the lip roll. The problem that you'll have with the lip roll, and this has been my personal experience as a singer, not as a coach, is that it's very easy to go, but at some point, because it's a semi-occluded exercise, we have to be able to open our mouth. So to be able to get to ah, to be able to get it from to ah, can for some people be problematic because suddenly what's happening is the mouth is no longer closed and it's no longer naturally holding the air back for you. You're now having to create that using a different way. And obviously that comes from the throat because the mouth is open now. So that's a little bit of a trap when you're doing these. So if you're having problems with the lip roll, translating what you're doing from the lip roll into the full voice, Don't feel too bad about that. It's the one reason why I don't think lip rolls are necessarily the be-all and end-all as far as warm-ups, but they're certainly a good exercise as a starting point. So that's about it for lip rolls. Make sure you do them for about 5-10 minutes a day. Do a couple of scales on them, warm up to them, and check in on yourself. One of the things about being a great singer is your ability to use your brain and be smart about it. So always self-analyze while you're doing this. Analyze your lip roll based on the things that you learned from this video today. If you like it, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell button, leave a comment, you know, same stuff that every video from everyone says. Have a great day. See ya.